Okay, episode 3. Here we go. This is Moose Country. Welcome back, folks. I'm Scott McIntosh with Brad Cuzner, and got some great guests on the way today. Newly acquired Quinn Kennedy, joined by Owen Phillips, a couple of guys who grew up playing together, reunited again. So happy to have them here today. And Brad, maybe first your thoughts. We see a trade at the deadline to acquire Quinn, along with a second-round pick in 2026 for Jack Martin, 19-year-old D, and Lou Levesque, 18-year-old forward. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a very exciting trade. For those who don't know, Quinn's father Travis works with us with the Mooseheads. Local boy, great player. Was in Rimouski, was kind of not getting the ice time that as a first rounder. He's had a great year last year and wasn't really getting that ice time. Was kind of first line, fourth line, all over the place. Didn't know where he was going to be. So I think we got a great player. He's smart. He can create plays. He can score. I think he's now leading our team in goals already. But it was a big move. It was tough to move on from a couple guys, but that's kind of part of it. And hopefully Quinn will be here for a couple of years.
Personally, I think it's a trade that works out for both sides really well, right? Rimouski gets the 19-year-old shutdown style D. They get a guy in Lou Levesque who, as we know, requested a trade. He gets to go closer to home, reunite it with his former head coach as well from U18. And I know fan favorite here, but wish him all the best as well with Rimouski. And Halifax, it's been a tough time scoring this year for the Mooseheads, right? And Quinn brings that offense maybe on a more consistent basis and can slot in that top six. So excited for that. And then you add to that bevy of draft picks coming down the road as well. The Mooseheads have already done a good job with a Catafor deal. Is going to be more lucrative in the future as well. Already netted the top 3 picks of this past draft, but more to come. And then you add that second-round pick to it. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the trade deadline too, right? I know, obviously, we've talked before, Rousseau, Schultz, key pieces. I don't know what the market is. It's hard to move 20-year-olds right now.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the top teams, although, Vachon just got moved, the top scorer in the league. He just moved as a 20-year-old to Rimouski, but it doesn't seem like there's much out there and a lot of good goalies out there as well. So a lot of the teams going for it, but I would, looking at the potential trades, Jack Martin would be a guy that I would say would be on a lot of teams trying to go for it. He's a 5'6", even a 3'4" in everybody's lineup. He plays steady. He's hard to play against. Moves well. He runs our power play on our second unit, and you can kind of put him in every position. So I would say there's probably quite a few calls about him, and as we mentioned about Lou. When he's on, he's on. And one thing I see that's good for Rimouski is, one, he played for the coach before, but also last year, we had the Dumais, Vidicek, and Catafor, but a long time the Dumais wasn't out, and the guy who stepped up was Lou. So having some familiarity with Catafor could really help on that top line. But if he turns his game on, he's one of the most electrifying players in the league. But it'll be interesting. The trade period's going to be interesting. The Rimouski, they needed to do something, and they did.
They've beefed up big time.
They've beefed up. Levine is a monster from Victoriaville, and having the league leading scorer with Vachon is 2 big deals, as well as Levesque and Martin. So not really sure who else is out there. Cape Breton made a couple moves, but
Moncton hasn't done much yet. But do they need to do much?
Yeah, they're already leading the league right now. There's obviously always opportunity. I'm sure they would say there's opportunity to get better, but they gotta. If you look through their lineup, they've got 3 of the best lines throughout the whole league. Their depth is very impressive, and then. A very solid D core. A lot of their moves that they would have, made at this time would have been the McKinnons and the Vidiceks that they got going before the season even started. So,
do you think they're upset they may have missed out on Martin? I thought Martin would have been a great fit there. Maybe a depth D would be good for them. He's from there. Taylor McDougall would. You think it's somebody he would have been kind of coveting?
Yeah, and Taylor played a tough game. He would have liked those guys that are smart and simple. It's interesting with the market because there's not a ton out there, and
Yeah.
I know Taylor's just kind of he's an extremely competitive guy, so he always wants to,
Much like his dad.
yeah, much like his dad, Gardner, and but if he sees Rimouski doing something, he wants to make sure that they're not getting ahead of him. So, it's tough. That's the trade period. You think you got a guy locked up. You think this guy would fit in your roster, but you realize that 5 other teams are also thinking that he'd be good on their roster.
Yeah, we're in the bit of a lull right now before Christmas, right? Those ones that we see on Monday when the deadline opens, kind of things that have been, already in the works for the past few weeks that they just had to put the paperwork in for.
Yeah.
And now it's reactionary period, would you call it? Maybe they're working the phones, and then we come back from this Christmas break, and between then and January 6th when things will start to move again.
Yeah. And I think with with guys going away, you kind of want them to enjoy their Christmas.
Exactly, yeah.
A little bit. You don't want December 25th to say, hey, by the way, you're moving to Val-d'Or.
Yeah, a little bit of a reprieve there for a few days.
Yeah, exactly. But no, within the league, you got to think that all the GMs would have their trade targets, who they're going after, and the guys, the big guys, the Drummondvilles, the Monktons, Rimouskis would all have the same thing. So they would know who's out there. They would know, who they want to get. They, you kind of scratch off the Levines, Vachon, Levesque, and Martin, and kind of go down the list to see if it makes sense.
Yeah, well, we will see what happens with the rest of the trade deadline. We did have some other big Mooseheads news today, maybe somewhat unexpected for some of us. 19-year-old forward Jan Spryner signing to play pro back home in Czechia with a team that's not too far from his hometown. So he's gone, not coming back the second half. So the Mooseheads have an open Euro slot, and your thoughts on Spryner and what his loss means to the team.
Yeah, he's it's a tough one because being overseas, being a European player can be tough. With the success that he kind of came into last year, moving into this year, a little bit of a tougher season. You just you never know with some Euros where their heart is.
Yeah.
And but a guy, when he's on, he can score goals with the best of them in the league.
There's no denying that shot, right? Like, it's pro.
The first goal, he came in and scored about halfway through the first period, and it's a goal scorer's goal, post in, low blocker. It was a great shot. You're like, this guy might have 50 this year. He's, but it's a tough loss because now you got to go. We have the opportunity to go find a Euro, which is nice.
Yeah.
But probably something that, we talk about trade targets and, people in the pipeline who we have to move up. Probably didn't think we had to go find a Euro. So, and they're not very easy to find throughout the league.
So you kind of got to find something off the scrap heap, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But somebody that hopefully could be effective, or perhaps they go the rest of the year with an open slot. Who's to say, right?
Yeah. Let some of the young guys kind of get those times, get those minutes on the power play, and it's just an opportunity for younger guys to step up.
Well, we will kind of talk about the first half here and how it's gone. 11 wins, I think, to the Mooseheads' credit, had gone about maybe how we predicted it would have in the summertime, and I guess looking towards the bottom half of the league standings for this season, and that will result in a pretty high Euro pick next summer, which is great news for the Mooseheads as well, and helps that rebuild, kind of expedite it a little bit. So, what do you think about first half? Has it gone how you thought it would, or I think there were some highs and lows, right?
Yeah, for how consistent our team works, I'll say I was surprised at how inconsistent our season's been.
Yeah.
You start off 7-2, and then you go on a bit of a slide. One thing I'll say is we've been in every game. There's, a couple blips in Shawinigan and things like that, but there's not many games. I don't think there'd be many teams who say that was an easy night if they're beating us. And I think that's what Lordo wants, right? Is to come in and kind of create this culture that no matter what, it's going to be a tough game in Halifax, whether we're going to be 18th in the league or we're going to be first in the league. It might be a little tougher because we have more skill if we're first, but it's going to be a hard game no matter what. So I think you got to be proud of the team for that.
Yeah.
You've been here many years. Is this kind of what you expected?
It really is. I mean, I was caught off guard by the hot start.
Yeah.
So
As
that was
were all
a
of us.
bonus.
Yeah.
It was great. But I think, you kind of see how, Andrew Lord has worked this team and molded it to be the style that he wants, and results will come down the road. It's going to be tough nights. It's a young team, and there has been tough nights, and you kind of hear about some of the complaints from fans during that time, but it's all part of the process and the growing pains. And no, it's pretty much where I thought they'd be in the standings. Goal scoring, we looked at the roster probably in August and thought where the goal is going to come from, and it's been a struggle. It's part of the move that was made to bring Quinn in. He's a goal scorer, so there you go. There's a piece to the puzzle to help build for the future. And it sounds cliche to say too. I think that it's one of those teams that you're waiting. You got to get the right bounces, right? They always talk about and that's how some of the wins have come. They got the bounces, and some of the losses have come. They didn't get the bounces. So that's I think that's just how this team plays those low, tight games, those low scoring, tight games. And some nights they'll go your way, some nights they won't. And as long as that effort's there, I think that's all we can ask.
Yeah, and I think the exciting thing too is with an addition like Quinn. You look long term. You see guys like Kilfoyle, Carrier, Quinn. If those guys can start creating, start playing together, having some chemistry. It's that's 2 years down the road. You're 19, 20 for Quinn and 18, 19 for guys like Kilfoyle and Carrier. What can they do in the league? Right? Yeah, exactly. What can they do in this in the league? And then the younger guys start to build more chemistry with each other. So it's as much as it is a rebuild or retool, there's a lot of exciting pieces that still have lots of opportunity to grow over the next couple of years.
Yeah, excited to see how the rest of the season goes, and then again, I'll be even more excited come draft time. I love being a fan of the off-season moves and seeing what moves are made. So I think a lot of us are like that, and looking forward to it. Something that you are obviously looking forward to. You just got back for a nice week off, Brad. Bradley went to Vancouver to catch up with some buds. Worked for the Canucks last year, so you've made some good friends out that way. Worked for the Portland Winterhawks too, right?
Yeah, I scouted with the Winterhawks. I was on the business side with the Canucks, so got to spend 10 days in Vancouver. So it was a nice little treat to get back and get all that rain in. Yeah,
I thought our segment, by the way, thanks to everybody who chimed in with the segment last time out with the Mount Rushmores. A lot of great names thrown out there, nothing you can really argue with. There's so many great former Mooseheads, so appreciate your input on those.
As we mentioned before, we did the Mount Rushmore. It's going to be controversial no matter what because there's so many good Mooseheads that have come through. So, but a lot of great ones. Tangay's on a lot. Jaguar's on a lot. There's Drew and McKinnon are on most. So it's
no wrong answers.
No wrong answers. Yeah.
So today's segment, I thought we'd bring back Brad's top three and maybe talk about your top three things that you did in Vancouver this past week.
Yeah.
Number three,
we'll say I used to work there. So we'll say I got to go see two Canucks games and a practice.
Who'd they play?
Which, they played St. Louis in the first one, and then they played Florida. They beat up on Florida pretty good, but it's kind of neat seeing those players, Kachuk and Reinhart and Barkov and those guys. Although they didn't play well, you can just tell that they're special players. Yeah. And then got to see St. Louis, and then got to watch Colorado practice, so got to see Nate practice, and looks pretty good, although they didn't win. But I watched the first power play, snapping around a little bit with Makar and Rantanen, and they
Makar's on another level, right?
They're incredible,
another universe.
Yeah, they're incredible. So it's it was a good couple games we got to see and watching, taking some stuff from there to try to implement here is always, Brian was on me, our president was on me to take notes. So
it's big on the notes.
Still working.
Yeah. No vacations.
Yeah.
Did you get to say hi to Nate at all, or are you?
I unfortunately, which will be a surprise to everybody. So I have a couple friends that still work there. I was talking. So when he went off the ice, I didn't see him because I was talking, but I was gonna try to.
Gums were flapping.
Yeah, which kind of happens with me.
Yeah.
So I was gonna try to ask him to come on, but
maybe next time. Right?
Yeah. I should have been paying attention, but anyways, no, that was good. Number two, we'll say. So the whole reason I went out is the PCAHA. It's a female program. So myself and a ex-Q player and alumni, Mark Tremaine. Mark played in St. John and in Victoriaville and Moncton as well. Him and I coach a U15 Team BC team. So that was kind of the main reason. So we got to go out and have a couple practices and a couple preseason games, and then we have a tournament in Toronto coming up in January. So
how do you coach a team in BC when you're in Nova Scotia?
It's a good question. We did it the last 2 years. So we coached the last 2 years, and then this season Mark went. He did it by himself, and they were looking for another coach. Couldn't find anybody, and luckily they said, "Come on out for a week and get to meet them." And but a great group and a lot of fun. A great program that they have going, and the women's game is just taken off. They're great little players and good. It's funny being in the women's realm to the men's, because the parents don't have the expectations of going to the NHL,
right?
Whereas the men's do. So
a little more.
All
calm.
The parents are lovely.
They're wonderful
great.
people.
Yeah, great to work. And not that all parents are crazy, but yeah,
bad apples. Make it bad for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be number two. Number one, we had a group of us go up to Whistler to ski Whistler. Ooh. Yeah, so it was a little bit bigger hills. Grew up snowboarding my whole life. Yeah, so I can get down a hill, and if not, just slide on my ass the way down. But a little bit bigger than Wentworth, and but we got to spend a night there and go see Whistler Village and stuff like that. So it was a great little time on the hill.
Beautiful. I know. Yeah, watching 2010 Olympics, I always go back to that and seeing Whistler like displayed the way it was. It's on the bucket list for sure to go. I've never been out that way.
It was incredible and didn't fall. Yeah. So with my old body, that's good. That's the win.
And Kate Bretner grew up snowboarding. Was that Benyon?
Benyon. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we had a couple buddies that used to go out there, and not much of a hill, but great times. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is Brad's top 3 Vancouver items.
Yeah.
I guess we could call it. So sounds like a good time. Good to have you back, and I think a good time to get into our interview with the newest member of the Mooseheads, Quinn Kennedy, and of course we've got Owen Phillips with us today. So enjoy that interview. All right, going to get into our interview now, and it's a bit of a combo special today, Brad. We've got Mr. Owen Phillips with us, longtime Moosehead, and the newest member of the Mooseheads, Quinn Kennedy. Thanks for joining us, boys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, awesome to be here.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, and excited to see you in person, Quinn. Obviously, it's been a pretty big week for you and your family. Now that dust is settled, what does it all mean to be a member of the Mooseheads after that trade?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool to be able to throw on the Moosehead sweater. Obviously, growing up, coming to the rink, watching them play quite a few hockey games, thinking that they're the NHL and there's not a league above that. So it's pretty cool, and it's kind of still settling in, still getting used to it and stuff. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm super excited.
That's amazing. The whole process of getting traded obviously didn't just happen overnight. What was that process like? When did you find out? How did that go?
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely a process for sure. I mean, the GM in Rimouski, very helpful through it all. I only found out, I kind of had a little bit of idea, a week or two before, coming down to Christmas break. But I only really found out until after that last game Saturday night. Had a meeting with them, talked with them, and they said the deal's been done. Getting shipped to Halifax. So definitely a lot of emotions that happened then, but obviously super excited. And, the process was a good process overall. So, yeah.
You guys are basically neighbors too. I know it's technically Upper Tantallon for you and Hammond's Plains for you, but you can walk through the woods to get to each other's houses, right? So, Owen, maybe talk about the reunion. You guys have played together with the Gulls in the past and growing up as well, right?
Yeah, so I think the first year we played together, we were 7, and it was spring hockey. So we pretty much played together 7 through 14, and then Yeah, it's awesome playing with Quinn. Obviously, he's a heck of a player, but yeah, played together all growing up, and it was a lot of fun. And obviously, I'm pretty pumped to have him here. He's going to help us out a lot.
Yeah, going to help you out.
How did you find out?
So I heard some rumors, but obviously you don't know anything for sure, and you don't want to jump to conclusions. So really, once the trade got announced and the Mooseheads posted, that's when I kind of knew and texted Quinn, and obviously was pretty fired up.
Oh, that's great. And you're already skating with the team. That's where you guys are going next, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah, heading there after this. Over at the RBC Center, just a couple of guys out there. Walter's out there, so got to chat with him a little bit. Obviously knew him a little bit before, skating with him in the summer and stuff. And then a couple other call-up guys, Todd out there as well. So know him from playing against him as well. So it's a good little group and good to meet some of the guys.
You got to meet the head coach, assistant coach, Andrew Lord and Brad McKenzie.
Yeah.
What was the first impressions of them, and kind of what was the first conversation like?
Yeah, I met them the other day. Lordo, obviously very energetic, high energy. So it was fun talking to him and chatting with him. And then Brad was there as well. So had a good meeting with them, just catching up, talking about hockey stuff, different where I see myself, type of player I am and stuff. So it was a good meeting and good chatting with them. And then, obviously do some more stuff throughout this week, a little bit of video maybe, so I'm not so scrambled when I come into playing and stuff. So should be good chatting with them, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, practices are high tempo, right, Owen?
Oh yeah, they're pretty intense, but we want it that way. We're big on development. We want to get better, and so it's exciting for us.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of exciting, I guess maybe not that exciting for us or for Moose fans, but there was some news today too, right? Jan Spryner found out that he's leaving Sign Pro. Great for him to sign pro back in his hometown. I think it's 40 minutes away from his home. So your reaction to Jan Spryner leaving to go pro?
Yeah, obviously I was a bit caught off guard, to be honest. Maybe a little bit of an idea, but nothing too sure. Loved having him here. He's a great player, and to see him leave, obviously it's sad, and just wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, just I thought always a pleasant guy, right? It was nobody with a bigger smile on his face most of the time than Spryner. So wish him the best back in the Czech Republic.
Now, as two 18-year-olds, you're coming in. Owen, you've obviously been here. You see that we have a young team, a lot of good pieces. Quinn coming in. Coming into your 19 year, obviously don't want to look too far ahead, but what can you guys bring? What do you see out of the team kind of moving forward here for the second half of the season and next season?
Yeah, obviously we are young, but with that, it's a good opportunity to continue to build every day, develop, and get better. And hopefully we want to just be competitive, win as many games as we can, and just as a group and players for me and Quinn take steps to, being as good as we can and helping the team in whatever way that is.
Yeah, I think coming into a young team like this, you can't be looking too much at the record and stuff. You just got to take it day by day. Obviously meeting with Lordo, he's been very good with that. Obviously, I think all the boys love him, so it's helped out a lot. And gotta always try and stay positive. Some days may be tougher than others, but always staying on the right track and being positive always helps. So I think just taking it day by day with this young group, and look to build something in the future, and keep developing every day should be really good. So yeah.
And we talked about how exciting it is for you to be coming home to your hometown team and the one that you grew up watching, being back with your family. But is it mixed emotions at all for you? You're leaving a team that has a 1-4 shot at winning the Memorial Cup.
Yeah, definitely mixed emotions for sure. I mean, leaving a team, I spent 2.5 seasons there. Obviously, played with a lot of those guys for a long time, so I built strong relationships with them. So it sucks leaving them. And then obviously they had they're hosting the Mem Cup, so it's tough kind of leaving that opportunity to get and play in that. Obviously the big trophy that everyone wants to win, but I think it was just kind of the right move for the team and myself, and coming to Halifax, I'm obviously very excited. So mixed emotions for sure, but looking forward to it. So yeah.
But you did say off camera that you did plan on taking this team to the Mem Cup. Is that this year, next year?
Hopefully this year.
Yeah,
We always want to say we want to win. So
yeah.
hopefully this year.
There you go.
But yeah, so yeah.
I heard he promised 50 goals too.
50 in the second half of the
Yeah,
season.
50
Not-
in
not
32.
in total. Yeah.
Could be done.
Yeah.
But obviously, great opportunity for you here, right? Personally, to you're a top 6 player. You're going to get to play in this top 6 here.
Yeah, obviously I know coming into a young team, there's going to be a lot of opportunity. I think that will help improve my game, and also the team overall. I think I can bring a lot of stuff to this team, and obviously being in a young group, I have that leadership experience throughout my seasons that I played, so I think I can bring a lot of leadership as well. So, I'm just looking to come in and help this team out.
Is there anyone obviously you're a bit of a hockey junkie. Is there anyone on the team that you'd like to play with? You see that you'd work well with?
Yeah, obviously. I think Carrier and Kilfoyle, obviously, are 2 main guys up there. They lots of skill, lots of speed. That's kind of, I like to play with pace, like to use my skating a lot. So obviously those are guys I like to hop in with, try and develop chemistry with and stuff. But, I like to say I fit well with anybody. So, but yeah, those 2 guys for sure.
Yeah, you played a lot of right wing, but you've also played some center. Is there a preference there for you?
Yeah, I think this year I've been playing a lot of right wing. Last year I played center as well. This year a little bit center. So I guess I tend to like playing wing a bit more than center, but I do enjoy playing center as well. So it's kind of, whatever the coach's decision is and whatever I feel most comfortable at. But at the end of the day, I like playing both. So yeah.
There's lots of chemistry here, so we'll move Owen up to the right wing and play center. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think we played on the same line in the
Yeah.
past. So
Yeah.
You got the wheels for it.
I used to be a forward. We were line mates, so I don't know. Maybe we'll try
There's
it out.
lots of times during the year where we're like, he could be a forward. You
Yeah,
got lots
yeah.
of skill. So
Yeah, I did want to show you a couple of things here. We'll put them on the screen too. We got a couple of pictures that our president, Brian Urquhart, obviously we haven't mentioned either, right? We all know that your dad works for the team. Travis Kennedy, the senior vice president of business operations, works pretty closely with Brad in corporate sales.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. So no, it's exciting for the whole organization. Brian has seen you grow up around here. Got this picture of you scoring your first goal on Mooseheads ice. What are the memories from that as a member playing Timbits?
Yeah, I remember that one. Obviously, going out for the intermission playing that game, it's pretty cool in front of those fans. So, I think I scored after that and was selling pretty hard. Maybe forgot about the puck and they might have went down and scored as well. So, but yeah, obviously looking at this brings back a ton of memories and it's pretty cool. So
yeah, full circle for sure.
Yep, yeah.
I think for all the kids watching and listening and the parents too, we watch these Timbits play every game. It's such, maybe we take it for granted or whatever. We know it's a big moment for all of those families when they get to do it. So you never know. You could be a Moosehead someday.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they do that too. I mean, obviously all those kids would love that, looking up to the Mooseheads as well. So it's pretty good that they do that. And yeah.
Yeah, did you get out there, Owen?
Yeah, I played in a game too, and I just remember how fired up I was to go out there. Obviously, the Mooseheads were my NHL when I was a kid, and that was a good game.
Was it Bobby Mack on the mic for those
It
games?
was. It was. Yeah.
Oh,
did you score?
Yeah.
Yeah, had a couple.
Yeah.
Of course,
yeah,
I
there's a
remember.
few
I
there.
remember.
Yeah, exactly. This other picture is also in
Okay.
Brian's office. I think you're 3 years old. He said you're his replacement for the day. So,
Yeah, at the computer.
yeah.
Probably not doing too much work, but
Just
definitely
like your
enjoying
dad.
it for sure.
That's
Just like
perfect.
Trav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you back in the office. So you go to practice, come back to the office. So we'll
Yeah.
get you make
Yeah,
some
for
calls
sure.
over the summer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
First game at home is New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you just to be in the Mooseheads jersey in Scotiabank Arena?
Yeah, I mean, definitely got that date circled on the calendar. I'm really looking forward to it. I think coming in to the Scotiabank Center as a Moosehead compared to as an away team is a completely different feeling. So really excited to see what that feels like, and looking forward to this crowd and how loud they'll get. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be your biggest crowd of the year. Owen, you know it well, what it's like to play in front of fans like that. What are some good memories from playing those New Year's Eve games?
I mean, obviously the atmosphere is just unbelievable, and especially being New Year's Eve, I'm looking forward to that crowd. It's going to be buzzing, and it'll be a great first game at home for him.
Yeah. Also playing Rimouski later in the year on the road. One you have circled as well?
Yep. Yeah, I have that circled for sure. So hopefully look to get the win there. Should be a big game, and looking forward to that as well. So yeah.
Now, you guys played on the ice already as Mooseheads, but growing up in that area, who were the guys that you kind of looked up to on the Mooseheads?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously Mooseheads, tons of players that have come through. I think the big guys, obviously McKinnon and Drouin, when they were doing the stuff that they did here, those are guys I looked up to. Heischer as well. I remember watching him play a lot. Great Euro, great player. Look what he's doing in the NHL now. So, those three guys are guys that I loved coming to the rink and watching, and really, really cool. I got to see them in their junior prime, and look at what they've done these days. So, yeah.
Owen, anyone?
Yeah, for me it was McKinnon. That was the main guy, and kind of followed his career from the Mooseheads up until the NHL, and especially when I was a forward when I was younger, I tried to model my game after him. So
Yeah, just to make us all feel old, how old were you guys when McKinnon was playing here?
McKinnon,
so that would have been
2013,
Yeah,
so
so
10 years ago, so
yeah.
probably 8 or 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been pretty young.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very old.
I was on that team. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Any current guys? I guess you already kind of talked about that. Current NHLers you model your game after a little bit.
Yeah, I think growing up, I like to watch Patrick Kane a lot. I think he was one of the guys. Obviously, Chicago was my favorite team. I hopped on them before they won the cup, so I wasn't a bandwagon. But I loved watching him and Taze. So those are two guys that I really enjoyed watching and try to emulate some of my game after them as well. So yeah.
I think Shea Theodore on the Knights
Great
is
one.
kind of a guy that I like to watch play and kind of see how he plays. And obviously, Makar's fun to watch. So anything that he does, if I can try to do that, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But listen, Theodore, great two-way D, kind of similar to your game, so that's bang on.
Yeah.
Quinn, you wore 88 in Rimouski. Is that the plan in Halifax? Is there any significance, or is there going to be a change in jersey number?
Yeah, I picked 88 because Kane, my favorite player growing up, so he wore 88. That's kind of why I picked it, and I've never really had the chance to pick that number in minor hockey and stuff. It was always the lower numbers, so when I seen I had the chance to take it, I took it. But then coming into the Moose, maybe pick a different number, fresh start, Got to look at the list and see what's available first, but I'm not sure what I'll pick yet. So yeah.
22.
22, yeah, take it down from the rafters. Yeah.
There are a few that are not in the rafters that are pretty much untouchable, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be another 27 anytime soon, or
No.
24 was Ehlers.
Quinn could fill those boots.
Hey, 8's available now that Marty's gone. But
Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about that trade. Obviously, you're here. But we lose Jack Martin and Lou Levesque. Your thoughts on those two players? Owen, haven't played with them for so long.
Obviously, they were big parts of our team, and they were great guys as well. Nice to have around the rink. Obviously, Lou was speedy, fast, and Rimouski's going to love him. And then Martz, I was close with in particular, and obviously he was my D partner for a little bit there. So really just wish those guys the best of luck. They're great guys, and they're great players, and Rimouski will love them.
Yeah, I think Marty in particular is probably somebody they were going at. There's not many 19-year-old solid D available in the league this year, right?
Especially with like Rouen, Drummondville
going
adding
for it,
at
yeah.
the deadline and going forward too. So
Yeah. Now they made a couple moves. They got Fashion, they got Levine, Marty, they got Levesque. So kind of loading up. Now you guys you've played against both. You've played with and played against. Rimouski, Moncton. Who's kind of the top dog?
Who's better?
Who are you going for? Halifax, obviously.
Yeah, can I say
yeah.
Halifax?
Yeah.
Obviously, we've played against Moncton a little more, so more familiar with them. We only played Rimouski the one time, obviously, before the deadline. So I think I'll just have to say Moncton right now, obviously, just more familiar with them. And obviously, they got a Vidicek and McKinnon who played here, so I'll say them.
yeah, obviously like Rimouski adding top scorer in the league, Fauchon, and then Leving as well. Those are two good forwards that they added. So I think to a group that Rimouski already had, they just got even better. I haven't played against Moncton yet this year, so I don't really know what they're all about. Like obviously
they can score.
they can score,
And you'll get to know them.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know a whole lot about them, but I know when Rimouski and Moncton match up in the 2 times this new year, they'll be good games. So they'll be fun to watch. So yeah.
Is there anyone else that sticks out to you that you think could make a push for it?
I think Cape Breton, to be honest. I I think they have a lot of guys who they got some skill and then they got some grit as well. So I think they could surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, they kind of underachieved first half, right?
Yeah.
But though we all know how talented they are, so it could go on a run here at any point.
Yeah. I think obviously Drummondville. I mean, first or second in the league, I think, but I think they might not have as good of a team as others on paper, but they got those 3 game changer 20s, especially with Mercer and Nets who can steal a game. So I think, and Gauthier as well. So I think they got a good group there. Obviously, they got experience from last year. A lot of guys coming back. So I think they could have a good run at it too.
Yeah, Drummondville, Cape Breton, kind of like the surprises of the first half on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, and Sly Favreau, the head coach, you know him obviously well. Owen, any surprise that he's led the team to where it's at?
No surprise at all. He's a great coach, and to see them doing well is no surprise.
Yeah. How closely do you guys follow the trade deadline stuff? Is that something you're invested in, or you just kind of see it as it happens?
Just kind of see it as it happens. Obviously, like. Hear a lot of rumors playing in the league. Obviously, guys texting other guys on different teams and stuff. So that's kind of where you get all the scoops and hear all the rumors and stuff. But not too invested in it. You know, you see it on social media when a trade happens and stuff. Maybe you kind of knew it beforehand, but not looking too closely at it. But yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Like you hear the rumors, and I think stuff like that you don't try to get too dialed into, and you just kind of go along with the flow.
I was gonna say as long as your name's not in the rumors, but
Exactly.
we had one who kind of lit up the rumor boards for the last month.
But speaking of social media, is that something you guys just look at sparingly, try to stay away? I know it's hard to stay off like Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that. Right?
Obviously, like I think that's a big thing in today's game. Like there's a lot of, even you look at the NHL, like with the Leafs media all the time, so you hear a lot of things, but you try and not get sucked into that because, it could affect you, could affect your confidence looking at comments and stuff. So that's something I try and stay away from and just kind of focus on my game and focus on myself. But
yeah, same.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Obviously, it is a big part of our game and something that's grown a lot, but you don't try to let it affect your game too much. And at the end of the day, you just go out there and play.
Yeah, no, for sure. Something that affected you both, I wanted to talk about, obviously, being Tantallon, Hammonds Plains, you guys were both affected by those wildfires that in 2023, just a very scary moment. And Owen, obviously, you guys lost your family home. So just walk us through what that experience is like as a family.
It was a crazy experience, to be honest. I remember the day I just got home. I was actually hanging out with Quinn and some of our other close friends, and I was probably home for about 5 minutes, and it all happened so fast. And all of a sudden, our backyard's on fire, and Mom's yelling at us to get out of the house. And I didn't really grab anything. The only thing I grabbed was my hockey gear, and then we got out of there. So
essentials.
Yeah, the essentials. It was a crazy experience, and obviously the biggest positive you can take away is that everyone was all right and everyone was safe. And obviously, thanks to the firefighters and all the people who helped out, it was obviously huge.
Yeah, it was quite a weekend, really. And Quinn, you guys, you didn't lose it, but basically everything around you was gone, right?
Yeah, got very fortunate with that, not losing our house. All the trees in our backyard around us and stuff. There was actually our front porch caught a bit on fire as well. So I think the firefighters would have been there to put that out. So obviously, big thanks to them. They do, what they do every day is really important, and obviously. They do it good. So but obviously very fortunate the house didn't burn down. Also like no injuries, no fatalities or anything like that coming from a big wildfire like that is good too. And like Owen said, me and 8 of us, I think we were all hanging out that day playing basketball outside. And then everyone kind of went their separate ways, driving home, see all the smoke up in the air. So I didn't actually get to go home or grab any of my stuff beforehand. I was just kind of already out, so I wasn't allowed back in. But it was crazy seeing everyone get evacuated. So it was definitely tough for sure. And but thankful that and very fortunate the house didn't burn down. So yeah,
things can be replaced. But was there anything that you wish now, looking at I wish I could have gone back in and got that?
I think I just think more about the stuff my parents had,
Exactly,
whether it be stuff from their wedding or certain childhood memories they had. I feel for them about that. And I know my mom in particular took it pretty tough. So we kind of just tried to support her the best we could. And back in the house rebuilt now. So it's good.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be nice to be rebuilt and back in. And I said before, you guys could basically walk through the woods to get get to each other's houses, right?
Now, to get on a lighter topic here, the NCAA rule change that came through this year with junior players now eligible to go down to the NCAA. What does that do for you guys? What does it do for the league? What opportunities do you guys see from your end as players?
Yeah, it's obviously an exciting opportunity, right? Obviously, that was a big decision coming into my Q career was which way are you going to go? Are you going to go college? Are you going to come to the Q? And now that the rules changed to have that opportunity to still play in the Q and then go college, I think it's going to change a lot about our league and then the NCAA as well. So it's going to be really exciting to see the next couple of years how that kind of unfolds.
Yeah, obviously it's pretty impressive, and I think it'll only make the Q stronger. You see guys already coming back who committed NCAA that went and played in the BCHL, USHL that are coming back to the Q now. So I think it'll only make the league stronger, and it'll give guys more options further on too. Like finish out your career in the Q. You don't have, is it kind of straight to university right away, or now you can go NCAA and play a couple years there. You see guys already committing to schools and stuff. So I think it's really good for development, and I'm really excited about it because it gives opens up a lot more options. And obviously seeing videos and stuff on the facilities that some of those programs have, it's pretty impressive and pretty incredible what they have and how they develop their players. Obviously tons of guys that have gone through programs and are in the NHL now, top players and stuff. So it's really cool and something that's just pretty impressive.
It's kind of like another shot, right? Maybe you're a little bit of a late bloomer. Both of you unfortunately didn't get drafted in your NHL draft years, but it's another opportunity for both of you, right? And for many players in the league. So is it something you're already thinking about for down the road?
Yeah, you definitely give it some thought for sure. And like you said, it's kind of that second opportunity to prove yourself. And obviously the NCAA is a great league. So I think if you can go there and be successful, it sets you up well for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any teams you kind of target? Like, I'd like to go here, I'd like to go there. There's no way you guys didn't watch all the YouTube clips of the Spit and Chicklets guys do a great job of highlighting them. And
watching Grinnell do his Chicklets U videos. Yeah. Obviously the big schools, you got the Michigan, who else? You got UMass, all those schools.
The
they have
BUs, the BCs, all those
BC,
guys are incredible.
I was really impressed at the facilities they have and kind of what they have available for the players and stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, there's so many maritime kids in particular that go down, right? Because a lot of them want to continue English education for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll start to see an influx of those guys back in our league too, which is great, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's good for education too. You can go down to those top schools, get a college degree and stuff, so it's good that way as well. So, yeah.
Now we're heading into the holidays here. You guys are off. Is there any holiday traditions you guys have with the families or anything that you do specifically over the break?
Nothing too specific. Just kind of hanging out with the family. You got the grandparents coming down and stuff. And then I think me and my aunt and their three little kids were going to my three little cousins. We're going to Hatfield Farms on a little wagon ride. So that'll be pretty cool for them. They're all three little babies, so that'll be pretty fun. But looking forward to that. Other than that, just spending time with family and stuff. So it should be good.
Owen?
Yeah, I guess this Christmas will be a little more special in the new house, and it'll be kind of the first time I think we'll host this year. And so for everyone to come see that, I think it's not really a tradition, but it'll be pretty special for sure.
I know Scotty's family goes caroling, so if you guys want to,
you should hear my singing.
If you guys want to jump in,
maybe me and Quinn will go.
Yeah.
Funny story on that. Actually, last year, me and a couple of my other buddies on the team, we went caroling door to door and sang in French, so it was pretty funny. Yeah, pretty funny. But
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
don't put me on the spot for sure.
Maybe we'll put you on the spot. We want to finish off with we got 10 quick hit questions, so we'll just kind of
run through them.
I'll run through them. You guys can each answer.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with Quinn. Favorite away rink?
I'd say I got 3 for sure. I mean, Scotiabank Center, obviously. Then you got the Videotron Center in Quebec. And then I like playing in Shawinigan, too. They got a nice rink. It's pretty new, too, so I like playing there.
I'd say Chicoutimi. I like the bigger ice.
Nice. Yeah.
Wheel around.
Least favorite player to play against?
Least favorite player? I'd probably say playing Baie-Comeau a lot in our division. You got a guy like Bernier on the back end, drafted by Seattle. He's tough to play against, physical, feeds heavy cross checks. So, he's tough to play against.
In that rink, especially. Right?
Yeah, in that rink as well. So
how are those boards?
They're solid for sure. It hurts getting hit in there, but with the fans too going crazy, so it's an atmosphere.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Vero on Rouen for me. We played against them twice already this year, and kind of had the line match against him.
That
was fun.
Scary one.
Yeah.
Best thing to do outside of hockey in Halifax?
I'll probably say golf. I love the game. Love playing golf. I think I improve every time, but I don't know if the scorecard says that. But
I think I get worse.
Yeah, exactly. But golf for sure.
Yeah, probably golf for me as well. And then we lived on the waterfront in an apartment right before we moved back in the new house for like a month. So kind of going on walks on the waterfront with the dog was fun for sure.
What's the handicaps?
I'm at about 15 or 16, I think. So
Probably a little worse than him.
I've been improving though.
Okay.
So yeah.
Favorite restaurant on the road?
Favorite restaurant? I think a lot of the times in Rimouski we would stop at Mike's restaurant. It's a French restaurant, obviously, and we would get their chicken parm there, spaghetti with the chicken. So I think that was my favorite meal for sure, and I'd have to go with that.
I think La Cage, I think it's called. I think we go there a lot on the Quebec trips, and that's always one of the favorites.
Always good.
Yeah, I think there's a good one in the parking lot of the hotel in Sherbrooke.
Yeah.
Hardest hitter in the league?
Hardest hitter.
Other than Owen.
It's my game.
I'd say McKinnon on Moncton. He hits hard. He could catch you off guard and get you good too. So I'll go with him.
Yeah, I'd say McKinnon as well. Like sometimes in practice last year, feeling it, and then I don't know if he's got me in the game yet this year, but
that's good.
That's good for sure. Yeah.
Best pure goal scorer in the league?
Have to go with Poirier. Baie-Comeau played against him a lot too. He's got incredible shot, incredible release, so I'll go with him.
Yeah, Poirier as well, kind of crafty, can score from anywhere, so you definitely got to be aware when he's on the ice.
Best goalie other than Russo?
Other than Russo. I'll give a shout out to Lascelles on Rimouski, actually. He's 17 this year, but he's an incredible goalie, quick on his feet, and I think he'll do a good job carrying the load up there, and really happy for him.
A real rising star for sure.
Yeah.
I find just the past couple of years playing against Steinman in particular, I found whenever we played them, he's made some pretty big saves. So he seems like a pretty good goalie.
Best meal your mom makes now that you're home, especially.
Yeah. I'll have to go with she makes some good lasagna. I like her lasagna. I think it kind of runs through the family too. Like my grandparents make a good lasagna too, so I'll go with the lasagna.
Yeah, probably spaghetti from my mom. She does a good job with that. Probably only have it every once in a while, but it's good for sure.
Funniest teammate you've played with?
Funniest teammate. My first year I played with Corey McGilvery. He's on Bathurst right now.
Yep.
Obviously another English guy. Had a good connection with him and had some good laughs with him, so he's a funny guy.
Yeah, for me, I've only known this guy for a little while, the first half of the year, but Lincoln Waugh, he's a character, and he's funny for sure.
Yeah, definitely a character. I guess this is the last one. Most memorable goal you've scored in the queue?
I'd say probably the one I scored in Halifax here last year.
That's the line, open ice, now quick pass, a shot, they scored, it's Quinn Kennedy. He goes upstairs, and we get a tie hockey game with 1:32 remaining here in the third period.
Obviously got that goal to tie it up and send it into overtime in front of the home crowd and stuff. So I'll say that one.
I'll probably say my first one in Charlottetown. I think that was pretty early in my first year, maybe within the first couple of games. And
Back to that center point. Here's Phillips. He strides and glides and fires. Scores! Phillips finds net. Short side. High off that stick side. His first goal in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And I tell you what, he gave that one a wicked wrister.
it was a big relief to get that one, and it felt good for sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks, boys. I really appreciate you doing this. Brad, any final thoughts?
No, we're excited to have you, Quinn and Owen. You've been awesome for the team so far. So, looking forward to the second half and next year.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Quinn Kennedy, Owen Phillips. Great to have those players in, eh?
Yeah, two great players, two great kids, both very well spoken.
Yeah.
So excited to have Quinn in, and Owen's, he's been great for the team. So looking forward to getting them back on the ice.
Yeah, I think that's someone we'll try to mix in. We've had alumni, Trey Lewis, Cam Critchlow, the first two, and then current players this time. We'll try to keep that mix pretty fresh going forward. Maybe if we can pry Cam Russell away from his office, maybe some point after the trade deadline, might be good to have him in here.
Good. Obviously, a lot of action. So we would love to have him.
You're on notice, Cam. That's anyway, that's the show. Thanks for watching, everybody, today. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you hit the bell button to get the notification for when the latest episode comes out. Like and subscribe, and see you next time on This is Moose Country.
And if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you like, give us a 5-star rating, and a comment.
All right, that'll do it for us for this episode. Brad, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to all the listeners as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you all have a great holiday season with your families, and we'll see you when we get back. Following the Christmas break, we'll kick off the second half of the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League season. Can't wait to see you then.